In God we trust. And it'll stay that way.
Oh man, there goes
From
Donald Trump.
Atlanta to Augusta to
There goes
Savannah
Donald
to
Trump.
Columbus.
You turn this
From
down.
Athens.
So what? So I'm gonna make this video about how racist white Democrats use black people to steal elections and maintain power. So, you know, when you look at what just happened to America and why we lost the greatest president that we've had in my lifetime, I mean, so a president who constantly tells Americans how great they are and does everything possible to make the country better and works really hard to, like, make everyone's life better. We never had that in my lifetime until we had Donald Trump. And that's actually what they hate about Donald Trump is the power structure in Washington, D.C. isn't there to do that. And that's what a lot of these stupid people don't realize, is that they're actually not there to do that. And they haven't been since the establishment of probably, I would say, you know, after World War II, and they established the United Nations. That was the beginning of the end of the American government, and they had switched over to the UN system, which took a while to put in place, but we were nearing the end of it. I mean, we had, we had Obama, you know, the homosexual crackhead president, and we had the Clinton just gutter trash president. And we had, the Bush, you know, who started all the wars in the Middle East president. And we had, before that we had the other Bush. And we had Reagan, he was okay, but, you know, he didn't do anything terrible, I guess. Oh, maybe he did some stuff down in Central America. But, you know, I don't know. He wasn't that bad. Reagan wanted to, I remember. Reagan actually wasn't bad, dude. Reagan wanted to wage a military war against the drug traffickers in Central and South America, and I think that that's part of the reason why George Bush had him shot. So anyway, so we don't have a president anymore, and we're not likely as Americans to ever have a president again because they want us under this UN global network, and they're never going to let you have any. You got to understand something. A lot of people don't understand. You might understand if you're smart and you actually watch my videos, but if you're just some random person who just decided to watch this video, the United Nations was set up by the Rockefellers and some other banking families for the purpose of depopulation. They're actually a depopulation group. They're really wealthy, multi-billionaire, trillionaire people that control the banking industry. And their objective is depopulation. And that's why they set it up. And that's why they're never going to let you have what we had with Donald Trump, which is a president that tried to grow the economy and tried to bring jobs back and try to bring manufacturing back and did all these things. And the truth of the matter is he was actually too good for America. A lot of America, because there's a large portion of America that was so stupid that have no idea what's going on, and they're just so easily manipulated and brainwashed, and they're manipulated with racism and gender bullshit, and that's what we had with these black people. And there are some really great black people that supported Trump. In fact, even at this last rally, there were a lot of black people there that were marching with the Trump supporters, the white Trump supporters, and everybody was happy and supportive. And, there are quite a few, there's a lot of stupid white people too. I'm just saying, this video, okay, let me explain something. This video I'm making about how racist white Democrats use black people, and actually some powerful Republicans do this too. They use white people, they use black people to rig elections for them and go out and like keep them in power. And it was Johnson who alluded to this about how they were going to keep black people voting Democrat for the next 100 years. And so you have these black people, and they're all over, MTV and all this kind of stuff. And because these racist white people are super smart, so they know what things the black people, like they have these scientists and social scientists that figure out what black people are into, what they like, what they think about things, and then they get other black people to like who want to work for these wealthy billionaires and trillionaires like the Rockefellers and all these people, the Rothschilds, and they get them. They just find out like what do they what do they want, and they get people that speak their language and get the rap stars to lead people like that Snoop Dogg, the drug addict scumbag. I mean, he's leading other blacks to like vote for Joe Biden, and Joe Biden's like this weird, creepy pedophile, racist pedophile weirdo, and all these blacks are going to rig a fucking election. Like they're breaking the law to rig an election in places like Detroit and in Pennsylvania to elect some fucking weird, racist, weird, fucking pervert white guy, Joe Biden. You see what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. That's how they use some black people. And I'm not saying that all black people. There's some black... I don't hate black people. Black people, I think they're interesting. When it comes to me living in a neighborhood where everyone's black, I wouldn't want to. They probably, I find that there's a lot of nice black people, but there's also, they can get really violent and crazy. So I'm just saying that it's these weird racist white people like the Clintons and Joe Biden and just like, and they get black people to keep them in power, and that's really what this. It's really like it's like the frickin' what is it? It's like what's that guy? Oh, Helter Skelter with Charlie Manson. That's like he was going on about that crazy stuff, and he must have got it from this weird, like he must have been brainwashed or had some kind of drug trip, and like caught on to what these people were doing, or maybe like he has some weird stuff going on in his brains about something, but he was like that with blacks. He thought he was going to start a race war and that they're going to need a leader and they'd pick him. Well, that's what the Clintons do. That's what Joe Biden does. That's what all these racist, weird, creepy, weird, racist white people do. In fact, if you go back and you look at history, like, Antifa, they've got this motto. It's cops and Klan go hand in hand. Cops and Klan go hand in hand. Well, the truth of it is that Antifa and the Klan go hand in hand. And they always have since the inception of Antifa, which was 1917, when they overthrew Russia. And it was at that time that the Klan was working with Antifa, the Communist Party. They founded the Communist Party. And, you look at World War II and people go, well, it was Roosevelt and it was Stalin, right, against Adolf Hitler. And they go, yeah, but Stalin wasn't, he wasn't a real, he was more of a fascist. Okay, well then you go to World War I, and it was Woodrow Wilson, who was the Klan, and Lenin against Germany. So yeah, Antifa was a tool or a mechanism by which the Klan and this group connected to the Federal Reserve Bank, which includes also Republicans like the Rockefellers and also a lot of Jews like the Schiffs and the Warburgs and the Rothschilds. But they used Antifa, and they still do. That's what Antifa is. So we're ruled by, and so these wealthy banking families founded the UN to bring in global depopulation. And so it took a while for us to get there, but that's why it's the CDC taking UN mandates. So in America, the CDC is the Center for Disease Control. And then you'll probably also, I would say you put Planned Parenthood and the CDC in this together with the UN World Health Organization. That runs down into England, and it runs into France, and it runs into China, because you got to understand, the powers after World War II were France, England, USA, China, what's the other one? France. So USA, England, France, China, and Russia. But Russia, as you know, is on bad terms with this group, right? This banking cabal, because they're always like wanting to start problems with Russia. Oh, and you can expect more of that, since you idiots wanted to vote for Joe Biden, well, expect a lot of things. Expect more school shootings so that they can take your guns. Expect more wars. Expect all kinds of agitation for war against Russia and in the Middle East against Syria and against anybody that they're just going to start agitating again, and they're going to get you idiots all excited, and you're going to think that it's the Republicans and somehow the Democrats are always going to go along with it. You're just going to get sucked right back into this mess, dude. I can't believe we actually had a president for 4 years that didn't do that. I mean, he pulled the troops out as much as he could, and he didn't start any wars, and other than the Soleimani strike and like one or two other things, it was like nothing. He got rid of ISIS. There's a reason why it's called ISIS. Why do you think it's called ISIS? You think you're a smart person? Well, think of why it's called ISIS. What is ISIS? You're like, what's the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria? Well, ISIS is also an Egyptian goddess, the goddess Isis, which in the Catholic religion is the equivalent of Mary. And of course, the CIA runs the show over there, and the CIA needed an Islamic group to use as an army because the U.S. didn't want to send troops over there anymore. So they're like, oh, well, we'll just make up an army out of these Arabs over there, and we'll call it ISIS. And they used the name of an Egyptian goddess because it's the Illuminati. And the Illuminati is what? The Illuminati is a Catholic organization that is run by the CIA, because the CIA is a Catholic organization. And the CIA is the same group that wanted to overthrow our president with John Brennan and these other idiots. And is it Catholic or is it Jewish or is it Protestant? That's a good question. I just mentioned the Klan, which is Protestant. You know what I think happened? This is my best guess. Is that when America was founded, you had some Catholics that were not that were kind of moving towards Protestantism, but they were still Catholics, and they were like they'd gotten into this deist movement. Some Catholics did, and some Protestants did, and they joined these Masonic lodges and stuff. And so I think at one point, you had America founded by Louis the 16th, sponsored by Louis the 16th. He was Catholic. And then Ben Franklin and these other Masons overthrew the Protestant government. And they brought in this new system where they weren't going to have a religion, which was dumb because now we have atheist humanism, and we don't have a country. We have idiots like Joe Biden